Every day, on a busy city street, a young boy sat quietly by the roadside. His name was Rayhan. He was only 12 years old. A torn shirt, a pair of worn-out sandals, and a small plastic bowl in his hands. That was everything he owned. Every morning, Rayhan would stretch out his hand and say, "Sir, could you please help me?" Some people gave him a few dollars, others simply walked past, annoyed. But Rayhan never became angry with anyone, because he knew what it felt like to go hungry. His mother was sick, and his father had left the family years ago. Then one day, during a heavy rainstorm, Rayhan was sitting beside the road when something caught his attention. A man was sitting in front of a small shop, carefully writing down numbers and keeping track of his sales. Rayhan stood there for a while, watching him. The man noticed him and asked, "What are you looking at?" Rayhan quietly replied, "I want to learn how to make money." The man looked at him in surprise. Then he said, "If you want to make money, learn a skill first." From that day on, Rayhan's life began to change. In the mornings, he begged for money, but in the afternoons, he worked at the shop and learned everything he could. Within a few months, he learned how to keep records, buy and sell products, manage money, and talk to customers. One day, the shop owner told him, "If you want, you can start a small business of your own." Rayhan used the little money he had saved over the years to start a tiny food cart on the side of the road. On his first day, he made only a few $100s. But he refused to give up. Day after day, he kept learning. His food tasted great. He treated every customer with respect. And most importantly, he never forgot where he came from. Within a few years, that tiny food cart became a real restaurant. Then another restaurant. And then several more. Rayhan kept reinvesting his profits back into his businesses. Years passed. One day, at one of the biggest business events in the city, a young entrepreneur was called on stage to receive an award. It was Rayhan. The host announced, "Tonight, we are honoring a young businessman whose net worth has now surpassed $1 million. The entire room erupted in applause. But Rayhan's eyes filled with tears, because in that moment, he remembered the little boy who once sat alone on the side of a busy street, asking strangers for help. Holding the microphone, Rayhan said, "I started my life as a beggar, but I always believed that my past would not determine my future." Then he did something even more remarkable. He used a large portion of his wealth to create a foundation for children in need. And on the very same streets where he once begged for help, he now provides food and education to children who are struggling just like he once did. Because Rayhan understood one simple truth: poverty may be part of someone's story, but it does not have to be their destiny. Sometimes the darkest road in life is where the journey toward the brightest future begins.